Okay, if you made it to this stage, congratulations to you. Now it's time for us to take a step further. We want to add some other models and other controllers to it as well. Okay, and this is for the messaging. So we're creating a dating app. Yes, we are able to see each other. We're able to actually see the profile, see someone's profile. We can edit our profile. We can edit our profiles. You can do so many things now. But we can't send a message because the purpose of this matchmaking is for you to be able to send message, say, hi, I think I like the way you look. Will you give me your number? So I'm just giving you some skills, some wooey skills. You're going to pay for that anyway. Okay. So we proceed by trying to add in some of these, controllers and models as well. So we're going to be adding a model that's going to be defining the message that we want to send. So this is how message works. The message you are sending goes to a particular person. So not everybody is going to see the message, right? So that means you need the person's ID. So the person also replying you also needs your ID. Is that okay? So those are the major parts that we actually need. So we're just going to go to our model and first of all create a schema for it. So what we're going to do, because we've been doing all this before now, we're no longer babies, right? So for just time wasting, I wanted to do it behind the scene, but I just felt let me do it so we can all see that. So I'm just going to copy everything we have here and then we edit because it's almost the same thing we're trying to create. Okay, so this is going to be called a message on schema. Message schema.js. So this is a message schema.js. I'm just going to paste it with what we have here because one, we need to know the person who is sending the message. It has to be linked with the user. So that is why we need all this feed here, the user feed here. So what we're going to do now is to take out this. So we don't need all this age and this feed. We don't need it. But we actually need this as well, all right, to be able to link to the user because we want to link this to the user, right? We want to know the user that has sent this to us. You can also link this if you wish to. You can also link this, right, to a profile. And I think if you're linking it to a profile, it's also fantastic. Why? Because a profile also have the user ID. So these are personal preference. It all depends on how you want to link the table. So there's no better way to do it. So you can link it to the profile. You can link it because let's check out the profile. Now, if you check out the profile here, you find out that the profile has the user feed, right? It has a user feed. So you can link to the profile and yet you're able to get the user feed, right? You say the user that has this and this and that and that. So you can actually do that. Is that okay? But I want to link into the user, which is actually the primary one. As I said before, now none is actually better than each other. So I just want to link this with the user. So the first thing we're going to do is the message I want to send. So I'm going to create a feed for that. So the message we are sending is going to be a string. So message we are sending is a string. Yes. And what else are we sending again? So when we send a message, so we're not creating a situation where we can send a file for now, but we just want to be able to send some text message and the person is able to receive it. So what else do we add again? We're going to put the receiver ID, That is the person who is to receive this message. So the receiver ID, right? ID. So that's it. We need the receiver ID. So it's going to be a string. No. I don't think this has to be a string this time. So the receiver ID does not need to be a string. It has to be a mongoose dot, right? Because we need to know the ID of the person who we are sending it to. So this is it. Good. Now we also have a column for the sender. That's the receiver. So we also have a column for the sender, just like this. The receiver, this is the receiver ID. You're the one sending it. So we also need the sender ID. The sender ID. All right. And let's see. This is called sender. So let's sender. So we need the sender ID. And it's also going to be of this data type. And what else do we need? And do we need the date that it was actually time and date? It all depends on you. We can put the time, or we just say, let's put the time. It's because it's important for us to know the time, the date or time. Let's just call it date. The date time that this was sent. So it's going to be having a unique data type, which is called a, it's having a unique data type year. I think I prefer to call this, time instead of this. So we'll just call this time, and the data type is going to be date, right? And the default is going to be date now. Is that okay? So it's going to tell us the date and the time now. Is that okay? So that is what we're getting. So the default is date now, right? And the type is actually date, right? I would have just put date and leave, but I want to get the actual default. So it's just the default. We say date dot now. It tells all the present time at which that was actually sent. I think these are some of the stuff we need. In the nearest future, we're going to be sending files or videos or whatever the case may be. We can always come here and then come back and adjust the schema. But for now, we can send files, right? So we can now make use of link it up with this. And this is what we need in the schema. And then this is not going to be called profile schema. So instead of profile schema, we're just going to change this to, it's going to be called the message schema. So we have the message schema. So we come in here as well where we are making the model. So we call the model message, capital letter M. So MongoDB is going to turn it to messages, right? So we'll make it message. It's going to add one S to it and turn this to a lower case. So this is going to be called not just a profile model, but this is going to be called a message model. So message model. That's MO. So it's going to be called a message model. So this is what we're actually sending. So the schema has been created. Very simple, just like that. In the next video, we're going to be creating the controllers, but I may have to give a skeleton of the controllers. I'll just create the skeletons of the controllers, right? And then we start carrying out the CRUD. So you can see how important the CRUD is. Create, update, delete. And that was why we started from here. So I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.